Hi everyone, Darren from DrayTek Australia and New Zealand. Continuing from our webinar series covering various features in DrayOS 5 routers, today we'll have the final installment in our series which focuses on the system maintenance features. DrayOS 5 routers currently include the Vigor 167, Vigor 2136 and Vigor C510 series, but more DrayTek router models will become available in the near future. Here's what we'll be covering today. In a nutshell, we'll be going through what system maintenance is and why it's important, what it looks like in DrayOS 5, including going through the menu in the web user interface. Let's start by looking at what system maintenance is and where it can be found in DrayOS 5. System maintenance is a collection of built-in tools in DrayOS 5 that help manage, monitor and maintain router health. These tools are designed to provide administrators with quick access to essential system functions, including firmware management, configuration backup and restore, and diagnostics. Why is that important? It ensures the stability, performance, and security of the network. With these tools, issues can quickly be identified and resolved, preventive maintenance can be carried out, and the router can be kept up to date with the latest improvements. The System Maintenance section is found towards the bottom of the router's main menu page. From here you'll see all the available maintenance tools grouped for convenience. Let's now quickly look at those features. So under the System Maintenance heading you'll find Device Settings. This is where the basic setup and behaviour of the router can be configured. Management provides access to key system management functions, allowing administrators to control and monitor settings. System Upgrade, a crucial section for keeping firmware updated, which enhances performance and ensures security. Backup and Restore allows creating configuration backups or restoring previous settings, making recovery quick and simple. Account and Permission, here user accounts can be managed, set privileges and secure access to the router. System Reboot allows restarting the router safely when maintenance or changes require it. Registration and Services, used for registering the device with DrayTek and enabling online services such as DrayDNS or the Web Content Filter. Okay, let's take a look at those in more detail in the web user interface. So first up, under the Device Settings section, the router's basic system information can be configured. The first tab is where to set the system time and date, and there's a choice here of either automatically with time server or manually. The time zone can also be set here. In this example, we'll leave time zone as auto and use au.pool.ntp.org as the time server. The WAN interface will also be set to auto. Then click Apply to save the changes. You can also use the Test Time Server button to verify the connection with the NTP server. Additional options are available under More Settings, where you can adjust the update interval or configure a secondary time server for backup synchronization. Next, moving to the right, is the Device Name tab. Here you can give your router a unique and identifiable name. For example, let's call this one DrayTek-ILAN. The device name setting helps distinguish this router from others on the same network, especially in environments with multiple DrayTek devices. Next is the Syslog tab. Using Syslog helps keep a detailed record of router activity, which is especially useful for long-term monitoring or diagnosing intermittent network issues. First up, set a destination for the log, which can either be an external server or a USB drive. We'll run with external server first. Next, specify the type of logs you want the router to collect. Down the bottom here, click on +Add and enter the Syslog server IP address, which in our case is 192.168.100.101. Back up the top, the logs can also be stored on an external USB disk attached to the router. The USB Syslog storage has specific requirements. The available space can range from 256 MB to 1024 MB or 1 GB to 16 GB. In this example, we'll set the maximum Syslog folder space to 2 GB. Then specify what happens when it fills up, which can either be override oldest logs or stop when full. Then click Apply to save the settings. Now let's look at the next tab, which is SNMP. First, enable it and click Apply to save it. Next, we're going to walk the OID. OID stands for Object Identifier, and walking the OID is a method to find all the OIDs in a branch of the OID tree. There's an SNMP OID list available in DrayTek Knowledge Base Article 5517, and I'll leave a link to that in the description below. So we'll copy the router model OID listed here, then paste it into an SNMP tester, such as the Paisler SNMP tester. After setting the local IP and the router IP and port number, just paste the copied OID down here in the walk section and click Start to run the test. It then returns the correct information about the router, confirming that the SNMP feature is functioning on the 2136. Next under System Maintenance is Management. This controls the router's system access and management services. The first tab is Service Control. Under General Settings, you can set the auto logout timer to sign out inactive users automatically, which enhances security, particularly on shared administrative devices. You can also enable a login validation code, which adds an extra verification step when logging in, providing an additional layer of protection against unauthorized access. Down here under Management Services, you can enforce HTTPS access, which ensures that all web management sessions are encrypted using HTTPS instead of HTTP. This prevents sensitive information such as login credentials from being exposed on the network. Below that, there are options for LLDP and MDNS. LLDP, Link Layer Discovery Protocol, allows the router to advertise its identity and capabilities to neighbouring network devices, making it easier to identify devices in large networks. MDNS, Multicast DNS, lets the router be discovered by name within the local network. For example, you can type vigor.local instead of remembering its IP address. You can also enable HTTP, HTTPS, SSH, Telnet, SNMP and FTP on the LAN and IPv4 and IPv6 WAN. And down here you can also enable ping on LAN and IPv4 and IPv6 WAN if needed. For security reasons, it's disabled by default. TLS encryption can also be set here, and right down the bottom is the WAN and LAN access list, which allows controlling certain IP addresses or IP groups for WAN or LAN access. Next is the TR069 tab. These settings are used when ACS3 is being used to manage the router. First, enable it by moving the toggle to the green position. Next, there's a wizard that makes things easy. Just enter the ACS3 server IP or domain name, then the port number. After that, enter the username and password provided by your system administrator or support team. Then click Apply to save the settings. You can then use the Test with Inform button to verify the router can communicate with the ACS3 server. A green light means it's working, red means something is wrong, or it just needs a minute for everything to start working. Down the bottom here are some additional configuration options, such as Periodic Inform settings, which control how often the router reports its status to the server, and Stun settings, which are useful if your DrayTek device does not have a public IP address, helping it to maintain communication through NAT. However, in most cases, simply entering the ACS3 server URL, username and password is sufficient to establish a successful connection. Oops, copy and paste error. Let's try that again. And all okay. If you encounter any connection issues, you can revisit the advanced settings for further adjustments, and of course contact our support team via email for assistance. The last tab in this section is XMPP. This is used for monitoring and messaging services. This section ensures that administrators can manage the device securely and remotely. Just toggle the Enable Disable button and click Apply to save it. Next up is System Upgrade, which is where you can keep the router up to date with the latest firmware. Here you can view the current firmware version, check when it was last updated, and upgrade to the latest release. Up here it's telling us there's a new version available, and it can be downloaded and installed using the Upgrade Now button, or it can be done manually. To do that, click the folder icon, browse to where the firmware file is located, select the file, and click Upload. Once done, it will reboot, then log back in and verify the new version on the dashboard. You also have the option to update the GeoIP databases, which are used for location-based security and filtering. Regular updates are essential to maintain security, fix bugs, and take advantage of new features. Next menu is Backup and Restore. This provides options to safeguard the router settings. Here you can easily back up the current configuration with optional password protection, ensuring your settings are secure. If needed, you can restore from a saved backup file, either with or without keeping the current login password. This feature is handy when deploying multiple routers with the same configuration or restoring a device after a reset or replacement. To back up a configuration, simply click on the Backup button and wait for the file to download. Next up is Account and Permission, where user access can be managed. Here you can create multiple local admin accounts, assign different roles and permissions, and control whether logins are allowed from the WAN side. For example, let's create a new user called Sam. So, click plus add, give it a name, then enter a new password and confirm it. Next, select a role for this user. You can choose from the existing role list or create a new one under the Role and Permission tab. You can also specify the account status, indicating whether the account is active or not. By default, allow login from WAN is enabled. You can also enable email and SMS notifications for alerts. MFA, multi-factor authentication, is available to enhance account security. Once done, click Apply to save. Oops, we need to assign a role to Sam. Let's make him an administrator. Okay, now just as an example, let's take Sam's access to the security menu away. So first up, we'll go to the Role and Permission tab and create a new role called No Security Access. Set security to Deny, then click Apply to save. Now to assign this new role, return to the Account page. Click Edit beside Sam and change the role to the No Security Access profile we just created. Then click Apply to save. To test it, log out and log back in as Sam, noting first that the security menu is available in the menu. So now under Sam's login, the security menu is now hidden. Now let's look at the System Reboot section, which allows administrators to restart or reset the router. You can reboot with the current configuration, reset to default settings, or reset configuration but retain registration and licenses. There's also an option to set up an automatic reboot schedule, which can help maintain stability in some network environments. This provides flexibility in managing the life cycle of the router without requiring manual intervention each time. Finally, the Registration and Services section, where you can register the router with DrayTek using its serial number. Registration is required to activate some services, for example WCF, URL reputation, and DrayDNS, and check service status. Keeping devices properly registered ensures they're eligible for future updates and support assistance. So to register the router with MyVigor, click Register. That will take you to the MyVigor webpage. Log in with your MyVigor account or click Create Account if you don't yet have a login. Then register the product by assigning it a name and clicking Submit. Here you can see the current status of DrayDNS or WCF licenses. Now return to the router interface, click Refresh, then select Login and sign in with your registered MyVigor account. Once completed, you'll see that the device is successfully registered to MyVigor. To check the service status, you'll need to activate a service first. In this example, we'll quickly activate DrayDNS. After activation, return to the service status page and click Refresh. You'll now be able to see all the enabled services listed here. And that's how you register your DrayTek router to MyVigor and activate services. So this brings us to the end of today's session. In summary, we began by introducing the system maintenance features in DrayOS 5, which provide administrators with essential tools to manage, monitor, and maintain router health. We explored each section in the user interface in detail, including device settings, management, system upgrade, backup and restore, account and permission, system reboot, and registration and services. Along the way, we highlighted how these features support tasks such as keeping firmware up to date, safeguarding configurations, managing user access, and maintaining system stability. By combining these maintenance tools with DrayTek's built-in monitoring and troubleshooting utilities, administrators can gain greater visibility, ensure smoother network operation, and resolve issues more efficiently. Thank you for joining today's webinar, and I hope this session has given you a clearer understanding of how to make the most of DrayOS 5 system maintenance. Okay, that's all for now, but please stay tuned. If you have any questions, we'll be available in the live chat on the right of your screen for the next 5 minutes. For more information about DrayTek products, please check out our website at www.draytek.com.au or send us an email to sales@draytek.com.au or give us a call on 02 9838 8899. Please like and subscribe below, and if you'd like a notification anytime we put up a new video, please select all from the subscribe drop-down menu as well. Thanks and bye for now.